recording. We're to go now.
That is great. Good to see you again. Sumeet Nagdev is a longtime collaborating artist based in Mumbai, and I'm really happy to have him here with us again today. Are you at your house?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Would you mind to just show us around? Because one of the things that's kind of interesting is to just have people, show us since people are spending so much time in their home. Like,
absolutely.
Like what's their space like? What are they doing?
Well, so I get to, I get to go to the studio, so but that's our living room. So there we are, and there's the little dining there and stuff like that. So I sometimes practice here. We have a little mat here. We practice on this mat as much as we can, and then so I also have access to the beach. That's the beach. We're right at the beach, so we have access to the beach. So
yeah, that's lovely.
That's the feeling, right? And it's right at the beach. So sometimes we get to go to the beach because the beach access is closed to outsiders right now as this pandemic.
So tell me, how are artists dealing with this whole COVID-19 thing going on in the whole world? How are you staying creative?
Uh, the thing with developed countries is that the government and all the authorities that have a reserve fund look out for everybody. But in India, because we are a developing country, uh, there still has been no announcement of reserves or any kind of fund for artists or especially independent artists. Uh, I know a few artists, which is sad, that are struggling with food even now. So, in fact, we have a group of about 250 artists on in a phone chat that are together raising a lot of funds. So, a lot of artists like Astad, who's also a friend of the festival, and all the other senior artists have come together and are making a reserve. So artists are here supporting other artists. The government is yet to even complete the support to the people who live hand to mouth here. And that there is a saying here that's going around that by the time coronavirus ends, we'll have more deaths uh, because of poverty than coronavirus, which is coming true right now, and it's a fact. I don't know. So I've done a lot of fundraising for a lot of artists who stay in the slum areas and all of that stuff. So we've pulled in a lot of resources, got them some money for food and clothing, shelter. Many of them even can't pay rent right now. So it's a pretty bad situation for artists in India.
Yeah. So right now, are you doing anything online, or is everything just shut down, or how are you functioning?
Right. So my organization has two divisions. One is the academic division, and one is the company that performs. So the academic division is online. We are doing online classes, one-on-one classes, and we are also doing classes like the faculty of the academy is doing a lot of classes right now. We also have an app which is for Indians where they can get access to some syllabus of dance. So that app is working. The company, we performed, we did like a 7-day tour in Noida, which is up north. And the last performance we did was on the 13th of February. So there was this company called Hyundai, which is a car company that wanted us to do an installation, art installation with the
Hi! Hi! Is this the last performance? Second last? Second last. It could be the last performance that you're doing. Yeah. Are you guys excited? Yeah! Alright, the MC is leaving.
What our company does is, other than doing theater works, we also do works that are designed particularly for a particular audience.
Everyone's taking position.
So we created a nice installation. It was a multimedia presentation with screens, the cars coming in. So about 25 dancers performing. So it was the company plus we hired some freelance dancers for that project, and we performed about 20 times, so about 3 or 4 times a day. Because they had audiences for that. It was for the Auto Expo in India, which was one of the largest expos. And then this coronavirus thing came. We had about 3 performances scheduled. We had 2 film shoots scheduled. Everything just went boom, boom, boom. And slowly we started receiving that we are not going to do this show, we're not going to do that show. So technically, our entire 2020 season is now cancelled for everywhere. We have no performances, nothing actually left. And once the lockdown opens, we are hoping there is some positivity that sinks in, and then everything slowly gets back to normal.
You think that the Indian government, for instance, will start to notice the role of the arts or other changes you see happening after COVID-19 is over for the arts, in particular dance?
What is happening is that there are tribal artists in India. There are artists that are freelance artists in India. They're the ones going to struggle the most because their voices are not yet heard. Some of the villages in India don't have internet yet or access to internet so much. Um, so that's shocking. I know some of my dancers, ex-former dancers, have already started switching careers, which is shocking. Um, that kind of baffles your heart. You're like, shouldn't have happened. Yeah.
And so what was it you were going to be presenting at SIDF? Maybe you can tell our audience.
So SIDF, well, we were presenting Druth, which has kind of become our signature work. But Druth is very exciting because it's fast paced, and even if you are watching dance for the first time, you still have something to take back home. So it's been performed about at 80 different venues, and at every venue it's had a great response, but very different. People take back home different things. The beauty of Druth is that it, it- it's very, it brings a sync without being synchronized. So sometimes it's syncing with music, sometimes it's syncing with people, sometimes it's syncing with the emotion that we're trying to portray. And it's based on a loosely translated on past, present, future, and time having a conversation. Like, what if their past, present, uh, future, and time are 3-dimensional beings that are there and are having a chat in a bar? What would they talk? That's where the conversation had begun. And we started creating, okay, what happens when past and present have a conversation? So we all started going in our past, and we started making conversations, like the dancers and me, We started thinking, what would my past say to me, and what would I want my future? What would I tell my future? What would I feel for my future? And then what would time say? Because, by the time I'm speaking to my future is here, and I'm like, I'm not done yet. And then there's this whole metamorphosis of time, past, present, future was very exciting to all of us. So we created a dance around that. And also the dance became exciting because we had the challenge of having four completely different bodies and play with them. Instead of bringing them to one vocabulary, we use their bodies vocabulary and created a vocabulary. So we have one of the dancers is a Kathak dancer, which is an Indian classical dance. She puts bells on her feet. One of the dancers is a hip hop dancer. One of the dancers is a contemporary dancer. One is a ballerina. And then I got musicians that have got training in Indian classical music, and they have training in fusion music. So we were very lucky. We got this guy called Jayant. It's brilliant, absolutely spectacular guy. And he understood the emotion the best. And also, I don't know whether this was an advantage or not, but he's visually impaired. And he never got the emotion wrong even once, or also he never forgets. That was so amazing. And I don't know how he's imagining what's happening on stage when he was playing live, because he can't see it, but he never missed a timestamp or nothing. So I think a lot of brilliant things happened because people were enjoying being themselves on stage. And
are there other sort of games or things that you picked up on the way, like you said, mistakes that helped develop the work?
Absolutely. Like the solo of Kiran, the guy who's the popper and who's playing Future. There is this part of it where he starts popping while he opens full second. He opens second position fully, and then he starts popping his head like that. And his solo was ready. I'm talking 3 days before the premiere, okay? His solo was absolutely ready. I get out of my office and I'm walking to the other studio, and he's doing his warm-up. He's opening second, and then he suddenly starts doing this popping movement, and I stop. And I'm like, dude, that's so futuristic, because it looks like, present won't be able to get that, and that's what I want. And I said, could you repeat that? He said, yeah. And then 3 days before, he changed his whole solo. He said, you know what, we're going to do this. And then we made him do that neck popping thing with his open second. And people went berserk. They're like, how is he doing it? I mean, at least in India, people are like, oh God, this is like nuts. And people still like it. I don't know why. But we all start laughing. I'm like, this is like his warm-up. I don't know why people are appreciating it so much, but good for us. There's another one where there's a duet between past and present. They're sitting on a chair and, things like that. And something or the other always goes wrong with the chairs. Always. So surprising that we've created patterns of what will happen if the chair moves, what will happen if the chair breaks down or it splits and turns. We have option A, B, C, D ready for that.
Yeah. Well, it is. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say. For me, it's so great to see you, Sumeet. So anytime I get to talk to you and spend some time with you is really, really dear for me. So I'm really happy.
Well, thank you.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share, with the audience, either for SIDF this year or next year when you come and visit us, hopefully, fingers crossed?
Well, in my opinion, the pandemic has caused a little bit of fear in people's hearts. So I think either you let that fear get to you or you become fearless and just embrace life for what it is. But right now I'm putting in my energy in getting resources sorted for artists. So, I mean, we're all doing our bit, whatever we can.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. It's kind of interesting, to think about, like, what are kids doing? Like, how are they spending their time? Like, what are the kids of artists doing in their homes?
Well, we're constantly making videos at home, so I'll send you some more that we're making.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great.
Did you see The Time of My Life? Dirty Dancing?
No, I missed that.
You got to see it right now. It's on Facebook. We made it.
Yeah.
the time of my life lift that guy does.
Yeah, yep. Totally, of course.
So
That's like famous.
me and Sumeet have copied that and done an exact person.
Yeah.
We've imitated that perfectly. Also, in a few days, we're gonna have a link on our website. It's snda.in. That's our website, and there'll be a link on it where we're gonna start collecting funds as much as we can for artists and freelancers that live in slum areas and that really are gonna struggle for at least a year. So we're collecting a lot of funds for them just to get them food supplies for up to September 2020 at least, so that they can get through this time. So if anybody is interested from the audiences watching, please go onto the website and there will be a link says donate now or something like that. And all of that proceeds, we are putting all the energy of that in getting food products for all the dancers.